I'm your host Justin Morgan, and welcome to episode 17 of Success HS. Today I'm joined by my co-host Mikey Payne.
Hey guys, it's Mikey here. Excited that you're joined us to listen again. Today we have a great guest named Cameron Dean. He's a good friend of mine at Washington High School and an aspiring actor and journalist.
Hi guys.
Alright, yeah, so that brings us to today's episode. I just wanted to start off by talking about acting. So acting's one of your main passions, right?
Yeah.
And so do you want to talk about like what are you up to right now in acting right now?
Right now I've been working on a lot of educational videos, working on books and things like that. We talk about different political issues and for example, you have the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln's speech. We talked about that and what it means and how it affected America back in the 1800s, So I think I'm really enjoying that because I'm helping kids learn and I'm helping people be more in touch with what they're reading. Some people you read it and you're like, oh, that's great and all, but what are you really getting from it? And I think when I'm acting and being able to give somebody something, it's really important.
Yeah.
So also a little bit earlier we learned that you're assigned to a talent agency.
Yes.
Could you explain a little bit about that and maybe if someone is an aspiring actor, how to go about putting themselves out there, because the industry is super competitive. It's like acting, music, and sports are some of the big three of entertainment. So let's say if I'm like a young actor and I have good talent, but I'm not sure where to go and I don't know where to put myself out.
Well, I'd say you first figure out what you want to focus on. For me, I really wanted to get in front of the camera and do whatever I could. I do photo shoots, I do acting gigs. I really try and get out there and get in front of the camera. So that's the first thing. Figure out what you really want to focus on. And the second thing is find the agency best for you. Some agencies are more focused on modeling and things like that, or on different things. I'm with the talent agency. So I'm currently with Marla Del Talent, and through doing this, I've been able to get opportunities and have different jobs that have really helped me understand the industry more. And while the industry is very competitive, I don't think you should so much worry on that. I think it's really important to focus on yourself, because if you're so worried about what other people are doing, you're not going to be able to improve yourself. Every great actor has something about them that's like signature, And so I think if you cultivate your skills and build something that is just screams you and that people can like, I think you'll be well on your way.
Yeah, definitely. And then going to the theater side of acting. So I know you've participated in Starstruck Theater, which is one of the most competitive theater programs here in the Bay Area. And so let's say I was an actor going into an audition and I was a little bit nervous. What tips would you give to an aspiring actor that's maybe a little bit nervous before an audition?
Deep breaths. You gotta breathe and you gotta be relaxed. Exactly like that.
All right, let's take a deep breath now. 3, 2, 1.
That's right.
It just calms you down. And also, you want to audition before you have the audition, which means you want to practice what you might do in front of them and be ready for anything they throw at you. So if you think they'll have you sing a song, or they'll probably tell you, but you want to practice, just practice. Always be ready for the audition. So when you have the audition, it just feels like another day,
It's natural.
Yeah, it's natural. So I think preparation is very important. That's a very big thing, is to be prepared.
And also, guys, what Cam hits on here about acting can also be applied to any area of your life. For example, you can use the same skills of making a good impression and cleaning up before a job interview or even a date.
I think first impression is always super important. The moment you walk through a door, someone's going to have a conception about you. It may not be fair, it may not be necessarily right, but it's true. So you want to make sure when someone first sees you that you have confidence. Not egotistical, but you want to have a certain posture. You want to stand up tall. and you want
Look
to
them in the eye.
look them in
Yeah.
the eye, all that. You know, I think that's always important with whatever you're doing. Whenever you're interviewing, auditioning, whatever it is, when you're going into something to get an opportunity, I think confidence is a huge key.
Yeah, totally. And just speaking about first impressions, what my high school basketball coach always tells us is whenever you walk into a gym to play a game, someone's going to see you for the first time and someone's going to see you for the last time. And so going in with great body language and making that first impression is essential.
Yes, yes.
And so going into another field of interest that you have, journalism. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you've been writing about in your school, what you've been participating in?
Well, at my school, I've been working on a few different stories. I know early in the year I had a story about the different teachers and their goal at Washington. And I think that was really important because students could get a chance to see what teachers, who they were, not just as their instructor, but as they were as a person. And I think when you can understand a person, you can kind of buy into what they're trying to teach you. I think that's really helpful. And when a person is really transparent with their goals, I think transparency is really important. You can really just be able to get along with your teachers. I think it was a really good article. And another article I'm working on that should be coming soon in 2019 is a story about the placard at our school. It's an old placard and it was made sure to be put there with the new remodeling. But the problem is it has some prejudice connotations, I guess you could say. And because of that, the ethnic studies class at Washington High School is trying to get rid of it. So I think that's a really big story because as we grow as humans, we are trying to be better and really promote equality, especially here in America. So I think it'll be a really big story for 2019.
Yeah, and just going back to the teachers, just going back to what you were writing about teachers, I think one of the greatest, one thing that I wish I had at my own school is knowing what the goals, what specific mindsets each teacher had before I got into the classroom and actually met them. And I think what you're doing is a great service to students, and I really wish I had that because, I mean, students need to know what they're getting into in class, and if teachers can have that transparency, then I think that'll lead to greater success among students.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so as Justin just touched on having a support group between a teacher and a student, acting seems very solo to me. I'm kind of an outsider. I'm not, behind the camera. I'm just behind the mic right here. But who is your team or support team that has helped you throughout building your acting career and giving you a solid foundation?
I think your team is really the people close to you, your friends, your really close friends, your family, because those are the people who, through good and bad, are going to be there with you. And they're going to be the people who help you stay on your path, stay and keep focused,
Locked
and
in.
all that,
Mm-hmm.
and locked in, exactly. And I think if you have a really strong team and a support group, that you can have a lot of success. You see actors who made it big, but they weren't able to keep it because they didn't have a support group, and
Right.
their ego went through the roof and all of that. So I think it's really important for your team to really support you, and that's your team, the people who are closest to you.
Yeah, that also ties on to a great quote, which is that you're the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And if you've got a good, solid group to build yourself up and work with them, you'll really go far. And also in this industry too, I'm guessing you got to be careful because some people might, only come on like leeches if you're getting really popular. And if you built with the people from the beginning and you're kind of rising up through the steps, by then you can watch out for people who are just trying to take advantage of you and they don't have your best interest at heart.
So I think it's really important to be careful who you trust, and be careful to see who really cares about you, because some people are just trying to get an opportunity. I mean, you just look at Kevin Hart. He had a friend who he was close with for forever, and that guy tried to extort him and release bad things about him and get money from him, and that really hurt Kevin Hart. So I think it's really important to be careful because sometimes you can never know.
Yeah, and so as we're talking about your support system, do you want to give any specific shout outs to anyone in your family or anyone that's really supported you throughout these years?
I think my mom, my dad, and my sister, all three of them have been really supportive. My sister has always told me that, stay focused, work really hard. I think that's the really thing she contributed. And for my parents, they've always taught me to always be ready for your next opportunity and to stay focused. And even if you're doing good, don't make it seem like, oh, I'm so great and stuff like that. Be happy
That's
with
really good,
when
yeah.
you win and are doing good, but also be mindful for, the next challenges that you're going to have ahead.
That's right. Yeah, and so just to end off this episode, what are your future ambitions after high school?
I think I want to major in sports broadcast journalism, and I want to also do acting outside of school. So what I really want to do is be a sports journalist and be someone who's on the field or on the court or just really be into it because I love sports, and it's something I've always really wanted to do. And then I want to be an actor also. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of things going on, and I want to be on camera. So I'll be pretty busy after high
So
school.
maybe working for ESPN or Sports Center or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
Exactly.
nice. And so you guys know what time it is. We're at our favorite segment, Mikey's 3 questions. Mikey, would you like to kick that off?
Sure, Cam. So for the first one, tell me a story about a really crazy experience in your life that happened outside of acting when you weren't behind the camera.
Or are we talking about just in general, or maybe when I was acting and this was outside of the camera? And
Either one.
okay,
Just pick
so
one.
something kind of recently happened. I was taking a break from shooting, and we were on our break. And one of the actors I was working with, he had a stack of cards, right? And we were like, what is this guy doing with the stack of cards, right? He's like, oh, well, I do magic and stuff like that, just so nonchalant. So we're like, all right, show us a magic trick. So he did all these different magic tricks, and it was so cool. Like, he told us to pick a card, right? Takes the card. He says, okay, I'm gonna just shuffle in the deck. Shuffles it, right? And then he has these little squares on the back of the cards, right? And so when you flip them, the image changes. So he takes it and he goes, and there's a little man and there's a little hat, and his hand lifts out, and then he has the card that you picked.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was,
He peeled it open kind of and he
Yeah.
brought it up.
yeah, it was the coolest thing
man.
ever.
Yeah, that is super cool.
Yeah.
For the second one, it's going to be, what is the role of sports in your life, and maybe what has been a good bonding experience you've had with your family at a sports event?
The role of sports, I love sports, especially basketball. I watch basketball every day. Every chance I get, I try and watch some basketball. I love sports. Like I said, I want to be a sports journalist, so I really love watching sports and stats and all that because it's competitive, and people are really just into it. I love it so much, and I think in my family, sports is a way for all of us to bond. We watch the Super Bowl, we watch basketball, and on Saturdays sometimes I'll get up in the morning and play basketball with my parents. So that's a way we've bonded and grown a connection between me and my parents. So I think sports has a way for all of us to, become closer and to get along.
I love that. That's such a good answer because no matter what background you're from, a lot of people are joined by sports, and even you can see that in the Olympics, of course, because everyone from every single country in the world comes together and goes toward a common goal and competes, and it's just really beautiful to watch that. So for my third and final one, Cam, it's how has growing with your family, but also your extended family, like maybe cousins or aunts or uncles, helped you? Because I know some people lean on their immediate family, but I think kind of the importance of external family is also missed. So could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, it's funny you say that because I have these 3 cousins, 2 of them on my mom's side and 1 of them on my dad's side. I call them my brothers. I don't have a biological brother, but these guys are what I call my brothers because I talk to them every week. You know, we're always like, "Oh, how are you doing? Okay, you know, how's the job? How's work? My cousin, he wants to be a pharmacist, so he's been working at Walgreens for the summer, and I've really just been not the summer, sorry, excuse me, for winter break. So I've been asking him how that's going and stuff like that. So I'm really close with these three cousins that are my external family, and they're like my immediate family because I can tell them anything, and I really trust them. So.
All right, well, I've really been liking this question segment. One more, so I'm going to add it to make it 4 questions.
Okay.
So Christmas just happened, and it's the new year. So what was a good gift or purchase that you got for yourself that you liked in the last couple months that was maybe under $100?
That I got for myself?
You got for yourself or a family member gave it to you?
Let's see. Well,
You can think about it.
my aunt gave me this notebook.
Nice.
I got it for Christmas, and I'm really happy with it because it was really thoughtful. You know, she knows I've been doing journalism and writing and stuff like that, so I'm glad I have it, and I'm gonna take it everywhere I go with me because I think I need it. I think it will really help me with practicing writing and things like that, and it's very practical. So that's why I'm really happy with this gift because it's something that is building towards my future.
That's awesome. And so that's all the time we have for the actual interview part, but thanks, Cam, for a great interview. Would you like to shout out your social media?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Cam_Dean13. So, yeah, you can go follow me.
Nice. And then you guys know you can follow me at Justin.Morgan11 on Instagram, and Mikey.
For me, it's Mikey_Painbrain. The Instagram for the podcast is success.hs. We've got almost 200 followers to go along with over 1,000 downloads for the podcast itself. Keep up the support, guys, and please go check out Cam's stuff, whether it's on his Instagram or just talking to him in person if you know him. He's a great guy, and I'm sure you'll want to know him even more after this podcast.
Yeah, and just a little call to action. Hopefully what Cam's doing has maybe inspired you guys to maybe write stuff about your teachers so that you can help your fellow classmates know what teachers are about and their specific mindsets, because that is a great service to the students at your high school.
And you guys can also do us a great service. So as you know, almost every week we bring you high schoolers who have excelled in their respective fields, either in the Bay Area, and also we're looking to do some across the nation with conference calls. We've got kids from New York and LA who also want to come on soon. So we do that for you guys. What we ask out of you guys is to please subscribe to our show, either on YouTube or in iTunes. Follow us on Spotify and leave us a review. The reviews help us climb up that iTunes algorithm, right? So we're ranked in the education category, and with enough reviews, we can reach into the top 10, and that'll really bring us some great success thanks to everything that all our listeners have done so far.
Yeah, so again, thank you guys all for the support. Again, over 1,000 downloads, and thank you, Cameron, for a great interview.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for listening to episode 17, and tune in for episode 18. Peace.
Peace. Alrighty.
Dude, that was
Awesome.
actually lit.
That was super good because you know, like,